Kissing Anya Moon had been the wrong thing to do because it had brought the memory of her taste and feel to the forefront of his mind when he thought he'd put their brief encounter behind him. She had lingered in his thoughts and dreams over the past 6 months like no other woman ever had. And just when she'd faded from his daily thoughts, there she was again. But mostly, kissing Anya Moon had been the wrong thing to do because now he wanted nothing more than to go back and kiss her again and again and again. Jarrett groaned to himself and stomped up the stairs of the Nash City Black Blade Guard headquarters building to the 25th floor, where he inserted a crystal into a slot next to the door to unlock it and entered the hallway where his private room was located. He strode to the last door and repeated the crystal procedure to enter the large room that served as his private office, and, when he didn't have other options, his sleeping quarters, whenever he was in Nash City. He rarely used the room since he was rarely in the city, but he kept a few items of clothing and some spare weapons in the room just in case. He mostly used it for the reason he'd come here today, to contact his commander in Atlanta with the private scry crystal. It was times like this that he sorely missed the cell phone age. Even with the privacy vulnerabilities of technology, with a little added magic, it had been a simple task to get a secure line to his commander from anywhere in the world. While portable scry crystals had taken up some of the slack after the cataclysm, they could only be used to contact other scry crystals within a couple 100-mile radius, and they were impossible to secure. When it was time to report into Atlanta, Jarrett had to go to the nearest allied city-state with a Black Blade Guard headquarters building. Each one had a network of large scry crystals tuned exclusively to other headquarters. In Nash, he had a large wall-mounted crystal in his room that was coded to connect with only one other crystal, the one in the office of the Kukri Division Commander in Atlanta. The crystal was protected with privacy spells and kept at full power by blade chargers. Sitting at the desk, he placed his hand on the blank crystal. His personal energy signature activated it, and the clear glassy surface turned cloudy as the connection to the crystal several 100 miles away was made. After a few seconds, the fog cleared and revealed a vampire who appeared to be in his mid-30s with close-cropped blonde hair and a close-shaven jaw. Commander Hugh Westbrook was relatively new to his position as the leader of the Kukri Division. A little over 60 years ago, he replaced Commander Bonacio, who had founded the Kukri as a squad of spies and assassins in the early years of the Spanish Inquisition. Over the centuries, the job description had not varied much, though they did a little less assassinating and more tracking and apprehending dangerous paranorm criminals.
"Campbell, good to hear from you. It's been a while. Any progress?"
Westbrook said, offering a tight smile. Westbrook was friendly, but direct and to the point. He didn't waste time with idle chit-chat. Jarrett appreciated that because he detested these reports. It was the most tedious part of his job, and this particular report was especially loathsome.
"Nothing positive, sir. All substantiated evidence points to the death of Agent Solahan when she fell from the building in Detroit 8 months ago,"
he replied, choosing his words carefully.
"I'm sorry to hear that. Solahan was a fine operative. What is your case recommendation?" "That we suspend investigation, unless and until further evidence surfaces."
Westbrook nodded solemnly.
"With current evidence, I hereby designate Agent Cora Solahan as killed in the line of duty."
Pain and regret sliced through Jarrett, but he didn't let it show.
"Yes, sir. I will file the appropriate paperwork to close the case and have it sent out with the next messenger."
Blade messengers relayed documents and packages between the headquarters of each city-state. Messengers left Nash for Atlanta every other day.
"Very good. Anything else?"
Westbrook asked.
"Actually, Commander, there is one last thing. I would like to formally request permission to take my mandatory leave,"
Jarrett asked, on impulse. Westbrook's eyes went wide. He was almost as shocked at the request as Jarrett.
"This is the first time in 63 years I haven't had to force you to take your mandatory leave. Should I be concerned?"
No, but I think I should be, Jarrett thought.